Now I want to just go over the students self-managing and the inquiry process. On my last teaching practice at Central Normal School, I opened an inquiry into earth science because it was just around about that time there'd been a tsunami, earthquake in Japan, and the tsunami that followed. The volcano had erupted in Hawaii and Kilauea, and there'd also been the Christchurch earthquake. So I opened an inquiry into earth science. Now what that involved was, to start with, I opened with some footage that I gleaned from YouTube. Brilliant resource. You just have to make sure you watch through everything first, and it was a BBC earth science on volcanoes actually and how they're formed, and it also went to New Zealand, and this British scientist who was speaking came to New Zealand and talked about the formation and then about the Māori myth. So it was nice because it was also relevant to New Zealand. And following that, I just did a little diagnostic assessment just to see what they already knew about volcanoes. The next opportunity we had was making volcanoes, so we did the old baking soda and vinegar, making the volcanoes and testing and doing some experiments with how to get the biggest eruption. And then I managed to get or acquire the services of, for free, a volcanologist, a Māori volcanologist who lives, I'm based in Palmerston North, just to come in for an inquiry. And the children, I mean, they'd developed their own need-to-know charts. They'd identified questions they wanted to research. They had access to the internet, to the libraries, and now they also had this a local expert in volcanoes, volcanologist, to ask the questions of. So the children led the inquiry, and what happened was, as the questions dried out about halfway through, and then there was so much listening going on, and then that would stimulate further questions, and then that would stimulate more investigations and further questions about this and that. And when they did their recounts on that inquiry process the next day, there's some fascinating. The children had come up with all these brilliant facts and relationships between them and he'd been educated in the Manawatu as well, and then had grown up and then gone to university to become a volcanologist. It really intrigued the children. It involved that opening process, so that was over 8 days, so the volcanologist came on the Wednesday following the opening. So then I'd had an opportunity to explore the different learning styles. So we had the watching and the listening and the recalling within the groups, mixed ability groups, what they'd seen on the YouTube clips, and there was the hands-on, the making of the volcano and doing things like that, and it's great. There were some excellent recounts about that. And then the volcanologist coming in, so it just involved all those different learning styles, and I think that's what's great about the inquiry process. And once you've got it well managed, and they're really, if they're working well together, you've got to just make sure you manage your groups well as well. But they're working with each other and feeding off their own knowledge and building on that from the others in the group. So that was a great one. Now I went to some sessions with a lady called Dinah Harvey, who's a maths wizard from the Hawke's Bay, who came down to take some classes for the teachers at College Street Normal School. And her motto was, do less, do less. And gosh, I can learn from that. I can really learn from that. Give it to the children to manage and maintain, and from that their learning is so much deeper and more, they can understand so much more when they've managed it. Do less. It's a key to the children being able to monitor their own progress as well. Assessment too. Great to make it fun and rewarding for the children, so they know why they are being assessed, and make it a really fun, rewarding process for them. And a lot of peer assessment as well. I mean, after your writing sessions or your daily dashes, make sure they get to share their work, celebrate their successes, and their peers let them know what's going on. And I like feedback as well on on how I'm going, and it's quite good for me to share things with a team and get feedback in that way too. Life, it's about change and learning and growing and changing life. Now, and problem solvers, creative thinkers, they are, if you're going to think of 2 essential skills for children of the future, who knows what's going to happen in 20 years' time. One of the men that managed our course, the graduate diploma, he's going on to do a thesis on problem-based learning. I think, and it's hard to say, but 2 essential skills for the future will be problem solving and creative thinking. And if you can equip your children, and that's just appreciating what they can bring really, and get them to use all those imaginative and creative forces that they have within, they do have within, and abilities to look at things from different ways. And within a classroom, luckily if there's near 30 children in a classroom, you've got so many different ideas to draw on from that about how to solve the problem, how you would do it, and you can look at which way would be, I guess, most efficient or work the best. But of course, each child will harness their own way of being able to work through. So it's just a matter of perhaps giving them opportunity to see others and see if that suits them a little better. But yeah, they're probably the 2 most essential skills for the future. And my last one, ICT. Within this whole process of inquiry, assessment and self-managing, ICT, I reckon we could change it to mean I can teach myself. Luckily, most ICT, different programs and things, the children will learn just by playing. They love to play on the computer. And most of the programs, if you just spend some time clicking on this, clicking on that, you can work it out for yourself. And how long does it take? Not too long. If you give them each like a good concentrated session on there, within a week, they'll be able to teach you how to do it. And that is great. That's what you want them to be able to do. To be able to take that. If they learn things for themselves, that's where it sits. You know what I mean? Me yabbering about everything, Lucy? It doesn't work at the end of the day. They have to learn these things for themselves. And if you think back to it too, back to your own primary school days, same thing. The things that you learned for yourself or within a group, those are the things that will stick. That's the things that you'll take into the future, as well as hopefully all those good social skills. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Cheers, Lucia.
This.
Yep, next one.